Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. Adoranda has asked you to hold a mirror, to see yourself differently from that which you were taught that you are. It all boils down to an old paradigm versus a new paradigm, and perhaps getting through that. Perceptions of who you are, of who others are, of what is going on the planet, often difficult to get through. I have said this before, you sit at the precipice of an amazing journey. You are one of the generations that will accomplish this. You're the only one where the shift took place in the middle of your watch. The ones who are born after 2012 will have a totally different perception. They will not have captured that which you have. An older generation with old information, with ideas that say, here's who you are, this is what's going on, this is what will take place. All from history, which is not going to repeat itself. I gave you a channeling the last time I channeled. I was far away from here, on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And when I gave the channeling, I gave it a name. I called it the enlightened clock. It's a metaphor, dear ones. And the metaphor is one that begs you to understand you're not alone. This enlightened clock, you might say, is a system, if you want to call it that. More than a system, it's a paradigm of interworking gears that all depend upon the precision of each other doing their purpose, their job. They mesh together because they know about the other one. And they're perfect in what they do. And there's a plan and a goal, and the goal is to have perfect time. And you can make this clock as large or as small as you wish in your mind. But what makes it enlightened is it knows the parts. More than that, if you were to ask one tiny gear in this enlightened clock, who are you? You would say, I'm a beautiful part of a divine plan. There is purpose in what I do. Because that beautiful part knows about the other parts. May not know even what they do, but there's a purpose for everything that happens. Did you hear that? This is difficult. This is difficult, what I'm going to tell you. There is a purpose that goes beyond anything you know. And to accomplish this purpose, sometimes there will be some of the most compassionate, beautiful people on the planet, and you'll lose them. And through the sorrow of your heart, you will implore God and you'll say, why? This was working. This person was beautiful and compassionate on the track, a light worker, or not. But compassion, helping the planet, helping others. What happened? This is difficult. If you're in this enlightened clock, that piece that you are, that clicks with the other piece, you're still working the puzzle. But that piece now is sorrowful. The piece perhaps is even weeping. But at some level, it knows that the one that passed over is coming back soon to be grander than they ever were because of their compassion, because of their training, because of their involved nature, and that they needed to leave soon in order to come back and be grander and be part of a clock that you haven't seen yet. This is difficult. But this is all part of you knowing you didn't come to suffer. You came to be part of something elegant and understanding and compassion. Even when your heart hurts, you can hold it and say, thank you, Spirit, for all that is today and all that I am part of in this clock that clicks the time that is going to go by for an involvement of humanity, of compassion, of things to come. And if you hadn't gotten it yet, I'll tell you that when you leave, you're going to be with those who passed early. They may be your teachers. They may be your partners. But you're going to find them, because that's the plan of the enlightened clock. There's not just one clock. There's the future clocks and the ones beyond that and beyond that. This is part of the light workers' compassionate understanding of the way things work. As the ticking clock has so many parts that are working together, that all know each other, that all celebrate each other. This is a metaphor of a compassionate planet or a group of light workers. And right now, it's a small group that becomes bigger. And we've told you this before. This bigger group that is coming is not going to be a group that will come to a meeting like this. This is not about belief systems and religion and God. It is about something far more basic. It's about individual consciousness of compassionate and care for other human beings. Of the things that are right and correct and have integrity, that will then spill into all that is, whether it's business or politics or science. Eventually, that will lead to introspection of who you are and who you might be and who else might be involved in this galaxy. Eventually, that will be revealed. And it won't be a shock. It'll be a celebration. That's the enlightenment that we speak of that's coming to this planet. Not a belief system, not a doctrine, but a generic perception, a paradigm of caring. That's the essence of peace on earth, and the understanding of why things happen the way they do. It's maturity. And so many of you are starting to understand it and starting to celebrate who you are and the fact that there's a plan and you're not alone. And all around you are pieces and parts of that clock that are working their part of the puzzle. And they know you and you know them. And the longer you live, the more parts you're going to meet. And as you look into their eyes, you don't have to talk about a clock. You'll know, and they'll know, that there is purpose here. For you to be born right now and having experienced what you've experienced, there is a plan, and that clock ticks perfectly. Meeting the right people, being in the right place, having the things happen, going beyond them in perfect love. They call it light worker because there's work involved. Getting past the ego, getting past the emotion, that would have crippled others. But for you, there is the maturity, and you keep ticking. There's more on this paradigm that we're going to give you. But for now, that's what we want you to know. You weren't born to be a victim. You're born to be part of something beautiful. The entourage that is here is applauding all that you've been through, all that you are, and all you will be. This is the shift. We speak to a small group today and a larger group later, and someday to the whole planet. We apologize, dear ones, that it takes so long. And there are so many setbacks. But human nature is going to change, and as it does, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you'll see. You'll be able to see it clearly in your news, clearly in those around you, and you'll know that this